You are watching Chaos Crypto News, the crypto news that you need to know.
Welcome to Chaos Crypto News. Today, we have GPT in the markets. I got some background noise happening here. We got GPT in the markets, making news again. Reddit had a serious outage. We got more exploits and hacks to talk about. A bunch of Bitcoin has been taken out of circulation. Signature Bank is being investigated for money laundering and more. So let's dive right in. We're starting today's episode off with more talk about GPT. So there's a new version of GPT that's been released to devs and people to test it, but not the public yet. GPT v4 aces the bar, SATs, and can identify exploits in F contracts. GPT-4 completed many of the tests within the top 10 of the cohort, while the original version of ChatGPT often finished up in the bottom 10%. GPT-4, the latest version of the AI chatbot, can pass high school tests and law school exams with scores ranking in the 90th percentile and has new processing capabilities that were not possible with the prior version. The figures from GPT's 4 test scores were shared on March 14th by OpenAI, revealing it can also convert image, audio, and video inputs to text, in addition to handling much more nuanced instructions and more creativity and reliability as well. The figures show that GPT-4 achieved a score of 163 in the 88th percentile on the LSAT exam. GPT-4's score would put it in a good position to be admitted to a top 20 law school and is only a few marks short of the reported scores needed for acceptance to prestigious schools such as Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, or Yale. Let's move on. So Reddit had an outage yesterday and it was down for about 6 hours. They finally resolved it. The platform says things are back on and in order after it identified and fixed an internal systems issue that took its website offline. Not much more to say about that, but Reddit's a good spot for some crypto groups for sure. Now we're going to talk about Euler Finance. They got an offer out to a hacker. Keep 20 million or face the law. And there's a second offer. We'll talk about that as we go through here. The hacker committed a $196 million flash loan attack on the Ethereum-based lending protocol on March 13th. Following up on our message from yesterday, if 90% of the funds are not returned within 24 hours, tomorrow we will launch a $1 million reward for information that leads to your arrest and the return of all funds. That's pretty interesting. But does the hacker really have any incentive to return the funds? Someone says here, there's really no incentive to follow through. If I was the hacker, I'd simply say to anyone who manages to track me down, I'll give you $2 million to tell Euler you didn't find me. So, I mean, it's a pretty fair bargain there and a pretty fair point. They don't really have incentive. There's also talk that they could be government actors or state organizations, groups that don't care about low-level government interference, essentially. Moving on, we're going to talk about Signature Bank here. They're being investigated for money laundering prior to their demise. The pro-crypto bank was reportedly under dual investigations to uncover if it was taking proactive measures to stop money laundering. It's unclear when the investigations began and what effect, if any, they had on the recent decision by New York state regulators to close the bank, but it's reported Signature and its staff are not accused of any wrongdoing, and the investigations may be finalized without any charges or further action taken by the SEC or the DOJ. Interesting. Makes you wonder if that really had something to do with it, if there's something going on in the background that, we didn't know about, which is probably the case, to be honest. We're going to talk about European Parliament. So in the last couple episodes of Chaos Crypto News and one of the past episodes of In the Chaosverse, we've kind of been discussing how as soon as you can manipulate a blockchain, it's essentially ruined. Well, we got another story of that right here. European Parliament approves Data Act that requires kill switches on smart contracts. The act would encourage data sharing, but it imposes requirements for smart contracts used in this setting that have alarmed members of the crypto community, myself included, and it's going to alarm you. The comprehensive bill was intended to boost innovation by removing barriers obstructing access to industrial data. Among its provisions is an article that would require smart contracts to be alterable. The Act contains provisions to protect trade secrets and avoid unlawful data transfers, and it set requirements for the smart contracts of parties offer shareable data, including safe termination and interruption. The smart contract shall include internal functions which can reset or instruct the contract to stop or interrupt the operation. Especially, it should be assessed under which condition non-consensual termination or interruption should be permissible. This is scary times, folks. Including a kill switch undermines immutability guarantees and introduces a point of failure since someone needs to govern the use of such a kill switch. Many smart contracts, such as Uniswap, do not have this kill switch ability at all. The Act endangers smart contracts to an extent that no one can predict, and pointed out sources of legal uncertainty in the Act. In particular, he found it did not specify who could stop or interrupt a smart contract. And that comes down to human nature, right? Human nature is greed, human nature is envy, and that is what's going to come into play there when things go awry. Someone is in control, they're going to take advantage of the situation. Now, interesting news about Kucoin here. Kucoin has closed a $10 million funding round into CNHC, which I'll tell you what it is in a sec, but is the offshore yuan right for a stablecoin? Kucoin Ventures, the venture arm of China-focused but Seychelles-registered crypto exchange Kucoin, which is my favorite exchange, by the way, led a $10 million funding round into the stablecoin issuer behind CNHC, a stablecoin pegged to the value of the offshore yuan. This investment in CNHC is part of Kucoin Ventures' broader strategy of investing in the Web3 infrastructure and the APAC region. So it sounds like CNHC is going to be a Chinese stablecoin. Scary times. North America is banning stablecoins, and we're already at war, which is going to affect the dollar. So, I mean, it's not really looking good here, if you ask me. We've got some XRP news here. XRP reacts in this manner as Ripple X validates EVM testnet. Now, this is interesting. This is the first I'm hearing of this, so it could be the first time you're hearing of this as well. Now that the sidechain EVM mainnet is approaching, cross-chain bridging could improve the network. In September 2021, Ripple's Chief Technical Officer, David Schwartz, passed a proposal of the EVM sidechain to the Ripple community. He backed up the proposal by noting that developers could build their own blockchain on the XRPL mainnet using smart contracts. That's pretty interesting. I'm not sure how really worth it would be simply with the cost of Ethereum's transactions, but it is interesting nonetheless. On to some more news here. UK's third largest bank, NatWest, places a $1,000 daily limit on crypto deposits. But that's not it. It gets worse. The bank says the restrictions will protect customers from life-changing sums of money to crypto assets. I think that was a mistype. It could mean from putting life-changing money into crypto assets or from getting life-changing money out of crypto assets. I think it's intentionally not clear. NatWest account holders now have a transfer limit of $1,000 per day, or pounds, or 5,000 pounds every 30 days in crypto exchanges. That sucks. This is not the first time the bank has imposed such restrictions on its users. In June of 2021, NatWest temporarily limited the amount customers could send to exchanges due to the rapid increase of investment scams and frauds. Now, of course, I appreciate people trying to protect their clients and their customers, but I really don't think this is the right way to do it. As adults, we have a due diligence to do our own research, which means we have a right to use our money how we see fit. We have XDC in the news today. Deploying an XDC or XRC20 token on XDC network without coding using XDC Origin. So not a whole lot to talk about here, but XDC Origin is a no-code tokenization tool that provides businesses and enterprises with rigorously tested smart contract frameworks. Origin is optimized for zero-code development of XRC20 and XRC721 tokens, enabling even naive developers to build on the XDC ecosystem. Origin simplifies the token and smart contract creation process, enabling users with no blockchain development experience to create tokens, manage their tokens, and deploy new assets on the XDC network in minutes. Now, there's not much more to say here, but I do want to let you know, if you're not familiar with XDC, it's an ISO 2022 compliant token as well. And it's very similar to XRP, except it does more transactions at about the same rate per second. So it's very interesting. Transactions take about 2 seconds, and XDC is roughly about 3 cents right now. If it's not something you're familiar with, it's definitely something I suggest you research and look into because it's a pretty cool project. Now, just in, some breaking news. Silicon Valley Bank donated $73,450,000 to Black Lives Matter movement and related causes. Very interesting, very interesting. If you look at what a lot of the Black community is saying about Black Lives Matter, it's not what the white community is making it out to be. And I'm not trying to make this a racial thing, but I find that most people on the left supporting the Black Lives Matter movement are not the people that it was out and designed to help. And in the end, it didn't end up out and helping those people who it was designed for to begin with. I'd suggest you looking into this on your own for more information. Now, Europol shuts down a crypto tumbler chip mixer and they seize $46 million in Bitcoin. So alleging it facilitated 3.8 billion worth of money laundering is the reason that this happened here. That takes the Bitcoin out of normal circulation and puts it into the hands of a government. So, I mean, if it's being taken out of main circulation and held in one spot or maybe seized completely, interesting, the value goes up. But if it's being held by government actors to be used at will, depending on the situation, it's probably not going to help the price so much. Although it's a drop in the bucket compared to the overall market. Now, we talked about that one already. We're going to talk a little bit about crypto gaming. So Epic Games says some crypto games in its store have done pretty well. The next 12 months will show whether blockchain games have sufficient drawing power on the Epic Games Store, one of PC's largest online gaming marketplaces. Why it matters? Well, for all their funding and fanfare, crypto-based games have been blocked or kept off most traditional gaming marketplaces, and that has left the store run by makers of Fortnite as one of the largest proving grounds for crypto games. Epic Store has 5 crypto games in its marketplace now and close to 20 in the pipeline. The marketplace's first blockchain game was Mythical Games' Blanco's Block Party, a social multiplayer game which debuted in Epic Store last September. Now, I did a video on Blanco's Block Party. You can check it out on my channel if you haven't seen it yet. It's a pretty cool game that anyone can get in and play for free. Crypto games have primarily emerged from new game developers and publishers, but have drawn deep suspicion from many traditional gamers and industry players. Let's just be honest about what was really happening there. The other stores aren't blocking crypto games because they think crypto equals bad, Sweeney said of marketplaces like Steam. Meanwhile, he maintained other marketplaces still distribute all kinds of bad stuff. They just want to collect the 30% fees, and they're blocking everybody who doesn't go along with it. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Epic is still keeping a safe distance from most financial aspects of its store's blockchain games. Interesting to note. Now, if you're not familiar with the whole blockchain gaming industry, one of the main reasons I got into it is from what I'm about to tell you here. This is something you got to pay attention to, so listen up. I want to tell you a little bit about the video game statistics worldwide. So revenue in the video game segment, this is not crypto gaming, this is gaming total, is projected to reach $365 billion in 2023. Revenue is expected to show an annual growth rate of 7.1%, resulting in a projected market volume of $482 billion by 2027. These numbers are so large it's impossible to comprehend. The number of users is expected to amount to 3.04 billion users by 2027. So, I mean, that's going to be just shy of half the world's population, roughly. The largest segment is mobile games with a market volume of $315 billion in 2023. And in global comparison, most revenue will be generated in China. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to understand where we are right now with crypto gaming. Currently, the blockchain gaming market in size of terms of revenue was estimated to be worth only $4.6 billion in 2022 and is anticipated to rise to $65.7 billion by 2027. But that's with no curveballs and no crazy adoption. Let's go back here just for a quick sec. 365 billion this year. We're going to be 482 billion by 2027, and this is only going to be 65 billion estimated by 2027. That's a drop in the bucket relatively to the whole gaming sector, but from where we are at 4.6 billion to where we're going at 65 is an incredible amount of room to move. So if you're getting in these projects that are any good right now, then the chances are you're going to be able to exponentially increase your holdings of those tokens when this actually takes off. And if you've been paying any attention to the market, a lot of things have been pumping left and right. So I think we are starting, hopefully, an uptrend, and that was the legit bottom, like not too long ago, month and a half ago there. But I guess it's to be seen, although I am staying positive on the situation. Couple more games in the news here. The global, we talked about this one already. Oh, sorry, this is another article regarding that. The global blockchain gaming market size is expected to reach 104.5 billion by 2028. So these numbers are actually changing depending on who's estimating them. But where we are now at 4 billion, whether it goes to 70 billion or 100 billion or wherever we go, the potential to win is massive. The last thing in the news for today's episode is WeMade has announced partnership with Space and Time to power blockchain and gaming services. So if you haven't heard of WeMade, they're South Korea's biggest game publisher, and they're actually putting out a bunch of cool games. So they're one of the largest publicly listed gaming companies in South Korea. Their market cap is 1.4 billion, and they have announced a strategic partnership with Space and Time, a leader in the decentralized data warehousing sector. The partnership will allow WeMade to power its blockchain and gaming services with Space and Time's decentralized suite of developer tools. WeMade services more than 20 different play-to-earn games across all genres, including Mir M and the world's #1 blockchain game, Mir 4, which I actually did a video about last year. You should definitely check it out. And I'm going to be doing some more videos about the rest of the games in the Mir pipeline that are worth checking out as well. So stay tuned for that. We believe that blockchain is the future of gaming, offering gamers greater ownership and control over their digital assets. Now, yes, that's true. As you're going to see in the next video that I'm going to be putting out for crypto games, it's called Geopoly. That'll be coming out hopefully today or tomorrow. You're going to see that a lot of these crypto games aren't quite up to par yet, although Geopoly is pretty good. A lot of them have all these things to try to make you earn and spend money, and that kind of detracts from the actual game itself. But we'll leave that for another video. For now, we've been on just about the right amount of time here, so I hope this has helped you find your news for today. I hope this has kept you informed, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you drop me a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This week, we're interviewing Martin from Foodware and JTXRP, so stick around for those, and thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.